Luisa. Hi, welcome so much to the Scenic Route podcast. How are you?
Hello. I'm very good. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here and to have this conversation with you.
Yay, me too. For people who don't know you, who are listening in, can you briefly walk us through your story? Like how you started, how you got where you're today, like what were your pivotal crossroads and the big moments? I always
Okay.
start with the easy questions, so don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. So how many days do we have to respond?
I know. And this is so true though, because you're in for a treat if you're listening. Luisa, like she has the experience and knowledge of, I don't know, three people. So she's in business for years, like, and founded a lot of successful businesses. So this is really interesting in picking your highlights, Luisa. Go.
Yeah, so just to give you a frame, I am 53 years old at the moment. We are having this conversation. And so I have been in business as an entrepreneur for the past 25 years. And for the past 15 years, I have been in the coaching and mentoring industry. And this is my I don't know if it is the 10th or the 11th business that I founded. I do not remember.
I love it. I'm like, I'm not even actually sure anymore. That's
Yeah,
like,
because,
that's awesome. I love it.
yeah, because last time that I counted them, I forgot the three that I had in the United States. And so I told me, oh my God.
I love it. I do not have started as many businesses I don't remember, so I'm loving this.
So I have been really a huge startupper for most of my life. And I think that this kind of energy is the one that keeps me going because uh, I um, I get bored very quickly, usually. So I needed
I
to
can
keep
relate.
myself, yeah, I need to keep myself engaged in new stuff. And so, yeah, this is part of my mindset. But anyway, so yeah, as I was mentioning, I have been in the coaching and mentoring industry for 15 plus year, yeah, and I have coach and mentored organizations and CEOs and their first line of leaders for 12 years. 12, 13 years and in 20 plus countries, I think, something like that. And I'm originally from Italy. So when I started my business, I was mainly working on the local market in Italy, but then I wanted to have more and more international reach. And so I started to have clients broadly, and then I moved to Cyprus, where I currently live, a few years ago, and so it was even easier for me to have this international flow of clients going on, and so I'm connected. I have communities in different parts of the world, in the United States, in Northern Europe, Central Europe. Some of them are in India. So yeah, I'm connected internationally, and Canada also. Yeah, and so what do I do with them? I help them so I mainly work with entrepreneurs, with small
Mm,
business owners,
mhm.
and because I never get bored. So that's the the selfish reason why I
Yeah,
work.
but it's so interesting, right? Like because I mean, I've been working with big corporations and also small time, like smaller businesses and single entrepreneurs. And I don't know, it's just I get it. With the
Yeah,
big ones, it's nice because you have certain you can do certain things that are not as easily possible when you work with smaller companies, but there's a trade-off.
yeah, definitely. I wanted to appreciate all the amazing things that I've learned working
Mm,
with corporations. I've worked with Fortune
mm,
500 companies. I work with big organizations, very well known and established corporations.
mhm.
And I am very, very thankful for that. And at a certain point, what I couldn't stand anymore was the bureaucracy. So the system that they have, they
Yes.
are,
Yes.
and that was the main reason why I chose to move to a different audience. Also because I observed that almost that was happening 4 years ago. Almost 80% of 80% of my customers, those that I was not directly talking to, because my marketing was not direct to them. They were small business owners, and they were solopreneurs, and they were reaching out, and they were asking for my help. So I told myself, okay, probably it's time just to also to shift the marketing and the message, and to see what is going on, and to see if this is just something that is happening by chance, or if it is something that has more energy in it, and it's something that I should respond. And actually, I saw that my own energy was even higher when I was working with them. And
that's a good observation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No way that could be any different than that, because the point is that so working on leadership. With CEOs and their first line of leaders, the point is that the system that they were into was so like an elephant, that every time that you move just one hair, you have
I know.
Yeah.
And I was always like the little rebel who's like, what happens if we move all the hair at once?
Exactly. Exactly. And so I told to myself, well, probably I can't really help them get to the point of really being fulfilled with their lives. So because I had this strong calling to help people to be satisfied with their lives. And so, in fact, in one of the proprietary frameworks that we use, working and figuring out what kind of lifestyle we want as CEOs of our own companies, the main reason we should do all the rest. So business should be an output, a byproduct of other kind of choices that we make in our life.
Yes. I full-heartedly agree, right? Because I don't know. I mean, I've been there, and I restructured everything to kind of like, I was really looking at, okay, what are like the most important qualities I want my life to have, which is flexibility, like space, and also to like the mixture of like space of like, oh, this is interesting, I'm gonna explore this, like, oh, I'm gonna do a podcast, let's see how this goes, and the stability of not being too much in the clouds, because that's not good for me. So it's really, and then everything else just comes naturally, right? Like that, like a byproduct of that was that I don't do like 12 months coaching containers, because that's too, I'm already getting, no, like I do 3 months, and then when you want to resign, that's cool, you can do that. But having just the thought of having something lined up for the next 12 months is not making me feel good. It's not making me feel expansive. It's just a byproduct then, right? I really loved what you said.
Yeah, exactly. I totally relate to that. And so I have two things to add to what you just shared. The first one is that when I talk about lifestyle, I also talk about what we wanted to have in our lives when we look around. So, for instance, a lot of people are talking about having a dream house that could be a villa with a swimming pool and all the amenities and fanciness. This is totally cool. It's not just the kind of lifestyle that I like to live, because I have a beautiful apartment. I live in many countries in Europe.
Exactly.
And this is the kind of lifestyle that I want to have now. The day that I want to change this, I will make different choices and I will see different results, So it's not just that we have to bring forward others people wishes or others people way of envisioning their lives just because we think it is cool. One thing that I noticed that
yeah, but it's so true, right? Like, because
yeah.
you don't, that's usually also due to because you don't know how it feels until you have it, right? Like having a big villa and a big pool means you have high utility bills. You'll always have to have someone who's taking care of it when you're not there. Like it's a like the list go like and it's going to be a rat tail of things.
Yeah.
When you're like, I actually value freedom and just moving, like, I don't know, moving places.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
actually not what you might not what you want.
Yeah, if I tap into the energy of moving around and living in different countries in the world, this is so sexy for me right now. So juicy. It's exactly what makes me jump out of bed in the morning. So if I think about the energy of having the villa with the swimming pool and so on and so forth, I don't know. It's not so exciting for me. It's beautiful. I get that. It's amazing. I mean, in Cyprus, we have plenty of villas with super amazing swimming pools and all the amenities and fitness around. And I have usually daily walks around, and I go and I pass by those villas, and I enjoy so much what
yes,
is
right. You can have admiration for the
yeah,
thing
and
while knowing this is not your thing in the season you're in.
exactly. And so that experience that I do almost daily is so nurturing for me, and it's enough. So I think that we should really know and understand and appreciate our boundaries, because sometimes we beat ourselves up in desiring things that are not really our things. And that this is one of the things that I really do not want people that work with me to go for, because then they are disappointed at a certain point when they reach that thing that they were thinking they could give them they are disappointed, they are unfulfilled. And so you are not working with me if you want to go that way, that is toward the unfulfillment. I want you to make choices that really nurture you, that expands your life, that adds to your life, and not that subtracts, So back to my story. 4 years ago, we chose to give a try to this new part of my business, and we found out that we had so much fun and so much joy and so much results, so many results with entrepreneurs. Usually they are coaches, they are consultants, they are marketing specialists, they are basically service-based providers, and this is also my own history. The most recent one. And so we created, so we already had one program that is the Ninja Leaders Accelerator, that is 6 months long. Again, same as you said, same as you shared, our programs are not 1 year long, because it's something that doesn't give me joy. So it's out of the equation. So I like very much short things, because with me, things happen so rapidly that it's sometimes more than enough. So one of the two programs, the one that we created 3 years ago when we started working with entrepreneurs, is called the Ninja Business Accelerator, and it can be delivered in 2 VIP days or in 3 months. It depends on the learning style.
I mean, of course, like, it's kind of like what is the setting and how
Yeah,
fast can
depends
both sides
on the
move.
needs of the person and so on and so forth. So 2 VIP days or 3 months or less, it depends. And the other one, the one for leadership, is 6 months, because it also involves the team. So this means that, dynamics are a little
that's
lower.
another ball game if you work with a team. Like, it just needs more time to.
Yeah, there is more complexity, and we have to keep that into consideration. And so, and so we come to today, and that's what we do. So we work with this kind of entrepreneurs, and we are pretty happy to do that. They have amazing results, and I can be more happy than that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. There were two things three things I was taking away from this, and one, let's start with that. You said you had your kind of like you had a startup mindset, right? Kind of almost like you founded a lot of startups, and I suppose that was also not really helpful when working with big corporations, because they do not have a startup mindset at all, most
Absolutely.
of them.
Absolutely.
How do you for yourself define the startup mindset, and how is this approach helpful for service-based entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so this is an amazing question. Thanks for asking that. So basically, a startup mindset is when you approach things coming from what if I do this, 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 and that, and then you listen to what your body and mind system gives you back. If it is joy, if it is expansion, if it is, wow, this is so cool, you can choose to go for that. If not, it's just an awareness, and you can either go for that with this awareness, or you can choose to go for something different and to ask a different question. So this kind of mindset really allows people to be in their own lives with always a fresh approach to things. It's not that you have to start up or to reinvent the wheel every day. It's not that. It's just that having a startup mindset makes you feel curious, makes you feel enthusiasm, makes you feel, what happens if I do that? What happens if I ask this question? What happened? This is the kind of mindset that I really appreciate about startup.
Yeah, that's so, like, I love what you said, especially about like that it has like some sort of play in it, right? Like,
it's very playful.
Because we sometimes, like, most of us have forgotten what play is anyway, in the strict sense of the word, because we're always kind of like, oh, I do this to get that, and that's not play.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no, this is cheating.
Yeah, or what, or is it something else? But like, and now I lost my train of thought. What I wanted to say is, when you really look at descendants, what if, right? Like, you give yourself a permission to almost be kind of silly, because we always tend to think of, well, I don't know, what could be my next product, what could I release, what could be my next service, right? Course, whatever, with the current inside the current settings we're in.
Yeah.
And so when we're unconsciously not really happy with those settings, we just create more of what we actually don't really want. So what if kind of like gives you a permission to be like, I have everything I need at my disposal, and it just go like, what if?
Yeah.
So I really like that element, because it kind of like gives you a bigger arena.
Absolutely. Yeah, you are just in front of every possibility, and you see what responds, and you then can choose to go for it. Yeah.
What was the wildest what if question you've ever asked yourself?
The wildest one was, what if I live abroad alone? That was the wildest one. And so before what I shared earlier, so before 25 years ago, my own life was very different. So I do not want to to make you sad, but it was very different.
Mm-hmm.
And my approach to things was very different. And I really had a lot of resistances. And I really hit my rock bottom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had everything that I wanted. I had family. I had the money.
All the things that look good on paper.
Yeah. I had really everything, and I lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I had with my family of origin a lot of, let's say, tricks in terms of coming from an abusive household,
Mm-hmm.
very addictive household.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, because this is something that I had to face things that I thought were much bigger than who I was. And so in doing that, I was losing a lot of my energy. So I was saying yes to fixing things that was not me, the person to fix. And so I was taking responsibility for things that were not even mine. And this is first, this doesn't work. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for the other people.
But I know we all do it in some parts of our lives. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a matter of boundaries. And this is something that we have to be very aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never thought that I could really make this dream come true. I was talking to my daughter yesterday night. We were talking on the phone, and she was telling me, "Mom, you are the most inspiring person that I know, because it's not just when you tell me what your life was before a certain period of time. It was I have living with you, and what I have observed and listened also. I've also heard people, my ex-husband, that he's her father, her grandparents on her father's side, and she was telling me that they talk about me as a completely different person that the one that she knows, especially the one that she knows today. And so for me, that was an amazing way to be acknowledged from my own daughter, who, I mean, she could be she could be not she could be not impartial, but actually she's definitely is. And so that was very, very good. And so my wildest dream was to become a person who could be able to live alone abroad, also because I have a chronic illness that is fibromyalgia and other things, dyslexia and other things, that makes my daily life a little bit more challenging than maybe other people's life, and for sure of other entrepreneurs' life. And so for me, this is a huge accomplishment to be able to live alone, to live abroad, to carry on with my life and having my routines and growing the business and working with people and being able to travel. So if you would ask me this question even 10 years ago, that was not even my wildest dream. Not even close. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, right. And it's something about I love that your daughter almost kind of like reflected back the growth you've gone through, because we're all like, I don't know how it's for you or for anyone listening, but I sure like kind of like downplay my growth. And it's not really, sometimes I'm not really aware how much I've grown, and then I'm like, well, it wasn't a big deal. Like, it actually was a pretty fuck deal, and the road was fucking hard. but every now and then there's certain moments where you're really consciously aware, like either someone reflects back or you're like, if this situation would have happened a year ago, I would have reacted this way, and now I'm reacting a different way, and fuck, I'm so proud of myself.
Absolutely.
Right? But I don't know, there are these rare little moments because it's so hard, I don't know, to slow down, to kind of like realize, and not also like just living in the past of like, but really being focused and like, yes, I changed.
Yeah.
And this is what happened.
Yeah. It would be amazing if we could have if we could record our life on a video, and if that could something could happen, automatically, not with technology or stuff like that. I'm just dreaming, and then by time to time we could have
episodes played.
Yeah, and some specific episodes just to remember ourselves how amazing we are. We are really powerhouses, especially us as women. We tend to underestimate ourselves so much, and this is something that I really do not want to happen. So this is also the reason why I advocate for women equality and gender equality, and all these amazing opportunities that we have nowadays to help us and give back.
Yeah, this is so true, right? Like, yeah, the underestimation, like that could be the fill another whole episode. why we do the things we do. I want to pick up on something, and that, like, we did kind of like so for anyone listening, Luisa and I, we did a short pre-call, and she consciously reminded me of something, and that's actually very true. And she's always now, and you've always done this now during our conversation, you always spoke of your choices, the choices you've made. And I want to point this out to anyone listening, because we had a quite interesting conversation about choices versus decisions.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that is so true. I've never really like thought about this way. So first, like, what is what to you, Luisa, what is a decision and what is a choice?
Okay, so the main difference is that a choice is a limited, predetermined experience that is influenced by external factors, and that is related to a specific context, and it is kind of stuck. So when you make a decision, it's that you can tweak a few things, but it's always, it is as if it was, let's say, a box. It's something that has boundaries, borders, and okay.
Like, you can pick the color of the tiles, but not like tiles are wood or something. Like really, you can change subcategories almost, but not like the entire thing itself.
Yeah, exactly. And it is usually bounded in time, with time, and it is usually bounded with a plan. So when you make a decision, then you plan something, okay? Or when you make a decision, somehow you already planned something, because you can't make a decision that is something that you will have in the future, because the decision is not something that you have in the present. This is another important distinction. It's something that you will have in the future, realized, and then you have to have a plan to close the gap between where you are right now and where you will be.
Oh, I like that distinction. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And on the other hand, a choice is about tapping in the present moment into unlimited possibilities, and without any restriction whatsoever. and without any limitation. And in this precise moment, and it can be changed every second. So in this moment, I make the choice to be happy and to feel joy in my heart. The moment that you say that, you are already doing that, and your being is already in alignment with what you just said. So a choice is something that you can, I would say, fully control, even if I do not like the word control, but okay.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Okay. So it's something that it's yours. It's yours. So
you just have to decide, or you just have to be willing, like you just have to be like, I don't know, slow down, take a moment, and actually decide, choose how you want to feel. For example,
let's make an extreme example. Let's make that.
Yes.
Let's make the example that I am in jail for whatever reason. Okay, or I am in jail could also mean that I am in a situation that I feel I am in jail. So
that feels like a trap.
I can't escape. Okay, I feel trapped. I feel no ways. Okay, where to go. Okay, and I have to stay there. Assuming this is a real situation, so that I have a physical walls and all the things that there is in a usual jail. Who says that I can't feel grateful? It's a choice. It's just a choice. It's just something that you can control, as I was saying before, because it's yours. So nobody can take that away from you. There are no plans involved, and you do not need to have heaviness and complexity and plans and all the things that usually come with a decision that we needed to have. Of course, I mean, if someone wanted to become a certain kind of entrepreneur or CEOs with their own companies, they have to make decisions. Of course they do. Okay. But we should be aware that a decision is one thing and a choice is another thing. So a choice, when I wake up in the morning and maybe my body hurts because of fibromyalgia symptoms, or my head is dizzy, and so on and so forth. So today we are lucky because I can think straight and I can speak straight. But there are days when, especially in English, but even in Italian, I have difficulties speaking because that it is what it is. But nobody can take away from me that I can feel appreciative, I can feel joyful, I can feel grateful, I can fill my heart with amazing feelings, and I can dream of this or that. So those are all choices, and typically choices are much more lighter than decisions. And we, in my opinion, the most successful decisions can only come from a place of intentional and aware choice that is that we keep making day after day. And so this will take us to speak about commitment, that in my opinion is a huge piece of any kind of success or any kind of thing that we want to label success.
Seeing something true.
Yeah. And so this is, so when we commit to choose in a way that is authentic, in a way that is in alignment with who we truly are, in a way that is that gives us awareness, in a way that involves possibilities, why not? Absolutely. Yes. This is something that we should go for. And then a decision is something that comes to you. So basically, you pull decisions your ways. Sometimes you do not even need to plan.
I mean, we get hundreds of decisions thrown at us every hour, right? Like,
Exactly. And I think that it's very important. If we want to be a certain quality of entrepreneur, that is something that I want to be. It's just something that I keep aspiring to be, because it's not something that you just are.
No, and yeah, it's also not something you ever achieve in the sense of, right? There's no finish line.
Exactly.
It always
aim to
evolves. Yeah,
you aim to. It's aspirational.
Yes.
So if there are other people listening to this and they want the same, they need to know that this is a commitment they need to make every day, and they need to make till this commitment becomes an automated process of the subconscious mind, and then from there you see things happening. Yeah.
So can we say that we make better decisions if we choose first? Like,
I would say that I wouldn't use the word better, because it really doesn't resonate with me. I know that for marketing purposes and for and also for in order to keep things
stupid marketing. I hate marketing.
In order to keep things simpler, we use words that everybody can understand. So, of course, I would say that a decision that will make us grow, and so in a way better, comes from a specific kind of choice, from a choice that is in alignment with who we are. So for I can make an example here.
Or like, or can we say, like, for example, I don't know, maybe you have everyone got one of those. You have a big decision you have to take in your business, and you're kind of like pushing it. You're kind of like, well, not want to deal with this right now. So you kind of like procrastinate and so on, right? Like we all know this. But then there's a time where you're like, oh, shit, I really got to deal with this now. So I think for me, it probably would be really helpful to really consciously think of, like, how do I want to feel? Like, how do I choose to feel in the moment I make this decision? To kind of like make the decision that feels, I don't know, more aligned to me.
You make the choice that is more in alignment with you, and then you decide, and then you
exactly. But you kind of like you create more space by having the choice, kind of like as a filter before the decision time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if the choice that you make before making a decision is that you want to appreciate your greatness, for instance, and the decision that you are about to make feels heavy and icky and out of alignment and too complicated, and it makes you sick just thinking about it. I wouldn't decide that. I wouldn't choose that, and I wouldn't decide that, because then when you make a decision that you have to plan things in a way or in another, and this will take energy, this will take time, this will always take money. And those three energies are important, and so we should be aware the way we want to use them.
I'm curious how you're dealing with clients who come, and I'm assuming, because I know that happened, that's sometimes the case with my clients, who come to you with a sort of duality of decisions, right? Like they feel they can only do this or that.
Yeah.
Like it feels very narrow.
Yeah.
And both are like not so great decisions. And they both make you feel ugh.
Yeah.
How do you how do you like coach them to deal with that?
Okay, so
just grow up, or like what's
the mindset behind that? It's actually a trick. So there decisions. So on the level of decisions, so we are going into something.
Yeah. We can go to all woo weird places. I'm here. I'm cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
And then there is a meta decision.
Mm-hmm.
A
I
decision.
love all things meta. It's good. It's cool. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you make a meta decision, usually this decision is beyond the let's say the physical level, you know.
Is it an unconscious mind meta decision then?
No,
Not
it's
necessarily.
not necessarily. It is more that you make a decision more on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Usually
Also, okay, like the kind of person you are.
Usually the meta space is the space of values, it's the space of identity, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then comes the beliefs, then comes all the other things. So in this space, you can make you can make a decision that is very, very closer to what a choice already is, because in that part of in that meta space,
it imitates a choice almost like.
Yeah. They are very, very close, and so this is how I help them with. And during our pre-call, we were also talking about mindset, energy set, and emotion set, and so those are the three things that I help them with the most in order to make let's use better decisions in order to be more fulfilled, in order to connect with outcomes that really makes them joy.
Yeah.
In order to again to have a lifestyle that makes sense to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the other piece that we use.
Yeah. So let me see if I can rephrase that. So whenever we feel we have only two choices of it, like two decisions available to us,
to
and it feels very limiting, and we like, I mean, we all know cognitively we have a gazillion of decisions. Like we can, it's not just like to decide. Oh, let's go with that example. It's kind of drastic, but we can decide to feed our child pasta or potatoes for lunch, right? And we feel like these are the only two choices. Well, obviously we have we could feed whole different kinds of things. We could also choose not to feed our child.
Yeah.
But because we made the meta decision that we are a person who cares that we feed our child, it doesn't allow us kind of to make that decision, or to kind of factor that decision as a viable decision in.
Where are you going here?
I know, I'm just curious.
I lost you.
I'm just curious, because that almost kind of it filters what we see as a decision. So whenever we feel we have too limited decisions available to us, we kind of have to take a step back and be like, what is actually keeping us from seeing more possibilities?
The point here is that when we think we just have two ways to go, left or right, it's because our points of view are limited. And so we need to ask ourselves what point of view we are using there that is limiting our choices and the direction we should take, or we could take, or we want to take.
So we take a step back, we take almost or we take a step up and kind of look down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Which again, I assume happens with wheat slowing down and really, getting us away from the situation to kind of be
detached. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
How let's talk about briefly also about the three powerful ones and that you mentioned before, and how they kind of have to be. I kind of get the sense that ideally there's an alignment between them.
Yeah.
how can we tell, like, what is a telltale sign or a red flag that we are not in alignment with our like emotion set, skill set, mindset?
One thing could be that we are not happy, that we feel
Yeah.
heavy, that we see things around us in our life. I mean, the closer one that feel weird. Another thing is that we feel kind of stuck. We feel
Yeah, the stuck is a big thing.
Yeah, we feel imposter. We feel that we choose from a place of fear instead of a place of expansiveness. That we question ourselves too much. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I doing this right? Should I do this? Should I do that? Okay, wait a minute. Wait.
Slow, yeah, like pause. Right? Because I feel, especially if you're starting out in your entrepreneurial journey, I mean, most of us start because as service providers, because what we do, the service we provide, we do in a very good way. So we're like jumping into that. And then you start and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should learn more about this. And then you do download the courses and the things and stuff. Whereas it's not actually what's keeping you stuck, like adding more knowledge, right? Because the skill set is fine.
Yeah.
So how do you identify which of the three is the one you should actually be working on?
It's you were talking about alignment, so you work on the three of them because they are so much. I'm not sure if I pronounce this word correctly. Interwoven.
Yeah.
And
they're codependent for sure. Like they're
codependent, absolutely, and so they impact on each other. And so you actually, it's not. I mean, it could be where to start from, but wherever you start from, you always work on the three of them because the result of doing that work is that then you are in alignment. So they are in alignment. As a result, you are in alignment, and so happen because of the alignment. So for instance, yesterday I got an email from a coach, and she had a business audit session with me 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she has been kind of stuck for a few months, not having clients. And so she was very, very worried. And after the business audit session, she had a lot more of clarity. She knew what she had to tweak here. And then I offered her to use one of my free resources that is called the 28-day money mindset fix for entrepreneurs. And just a very short training. I mean, it's 28. It's something that you need to do for 20.
Space out for 20. Yeah. To kind of establish a habit, I suppose. But
just a 5 minutes recording that you have to listen with my voice saying very weird things. And
I'm intrigued. I'm always intrigued that people say weird things. I'm like, ooh, okay, I should listen to that.
This is very rebellious and very, very weird.
Okay, I'm hooked for that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and so then I was not expecting that she was coming back to me, but she came back yesterday and she sent me this email. I just posted it on my Facebook today, and so she was saying that she was feeling more positive, and she got a lot more clarity, and things are going better, and that out of the blue she got a client. And for me, it's not out of the blue. It's
you're like, this is not a surprise.
Out of alignment. It's not out of the blue.
Yeah.
If you want to call this as if by magic, I am totally fine with that. I love magic. But so magic happens.
It's the natural byproduct because you're working on the things, right? Like
Exactly. And that audio works at a very deep subconscious level. in a way that so you do not even have to pay attention to what I say. You can run that during when you take a shower and you do not listen to it. It actually
that's
you
amazing.
can listen to it while you are driving, while you are sleeping, while you are doing whatever, So it just gives impulses to the subconscious and it let emerge things that are hidden deep down and that are your most precious resources in order to move.
It releases them, or
in order to move anything in your life. For this one is specific for business and for business results, but you can create different ones for whatever purpose that you have in life, whatever goal or a target or a wish you have.
I mean, that's that's so funny. Like when I talked to Lisa about what do you want, like if there's anything you want to promote on a podcast, you also wrote in like 91 ways you might be leaving money on the table, which is also like, I mean, it sounds amazing, but didn't you not had 100 ideas, Luisa? Come on.
I am a rebel. 100
I know, I'm like 91. I love it. I'm just, let's go with 91. I love it. So obviously, if you're intrigued about either 91 ways you're leaving money on the table or the money mindset fixed, I'd say they're both free resources that are available on your website, if I'm correct.
Absolutely, yeah. There is a label free resources, and you can.
Okay, awesome. We're also going to link both in the show notes, so you can check both out. Lisa, where can where do you hang out online? Where can people find you on social media?
I am on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And I also have an Instagram account that I do not use that much. I didn't click with Instagram, so I do not things that I do not understand. And so, I'm on Facebook and on LinkedIn, mainly on LinkedIn, but I'm also very active on Facebook.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, I have always kind of one last question before I let you go, because I'm curious and I always need new materials. What book are you currently reading, Lisa?
Oh, book. What book?
Or audiobook, if you rather listen to audiobooks, then which is always a personal preference.
Yes. So let me check my Audible because the problem with me, Jennifer, is that I usually read or listen to 6 or 7 books at the same time.
This is not a problem. This is how we roll, Luisa. This is what we do. Seriously, this is so funny. Most of my guests are like, I have to pick one? I have several on my nightstand at the moment. I'm like, yes, I know you do, because we are all alike. We're scenic route people. We have a gazillion of books and audiobooks and podcasts. We're all listening at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So my Audible says that the one that I am listening right now is Get Good with Money of Tiffany. The Budgetista.
I have hers on my to read pile. I
am very fond of investments. I am also an investor, and so I was curious to know more because I watched something on Netflix. I think that was a program, a docu-series, something like that, where what Tiffany, the Budgetista, was one of the coaches helping people. It's very cool. I think it is on Netflix, if I recall well. It could be Netflix or Amazon Prime Video, one of the two, but probably is Netflix. And so I found out about her, and she was the one who was intriguing me the most. And so I got this audiobook.
Right. I know it's not out yet, but I already I bought it on a pre-sale because I discovered a girl on TikTok who was talking about money, and I'm like, oh, actually she's saying things that resonate with me and sound very reasonable. So I'm pre-ordering the book. It's kind of it's always a good idea. It's always nice to discover people where you don't expect, and then oh, okay, let's read the book and just, I don't know, see what her ideas, what her take is.
Exactly. I like very much to be surrounded by books, topics, and things that relate to profit, making money, making cash. I like very much. And this is one of the reasons why I also created the 91 ways you might be leaving money on the table. That's the reason why. Yeah, because sometimes our businesses are leaking and we do not realize that we can just tweak very small things.
Yeah, we're always kind of like, oh, I need more cash flow, I need more clients. Well, you probably could with the clients you already have, but you could tweak little things that have a bigger impact.
Absolutely.
I love this. Well, Luisa, thank you so much for talking with me today. It was a really interesting conversation about the decisions and the meta decisions and everything in the woo spaces as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you had me. Yeah, thank you so much.